Alex is
All right, everyone. We are back for another week of Light of Thylea, brought to you by Polyhedra and the wonderful people right next to me, this way. God damn it, I forget that it's technically mirrored from my direction. This is my left. And it is the left. I mean, the way that it... Okay, listen, doing streaming is weird. I'm still getting used to it, some 2-3 years later. Hi, welcome, everyone, for another week of Light of Thylea. Thank you guys so much for the patience with last week. At the end of the day, this is a game, and the health, whether mental, physical, or otherwise, of my players is the most important thing to me. And I'm just going to assume a big one and say thank you for feeling the exact same way. Everybody nod along with me, because that's how I feel like right now.
This is a game? This isn't real?
This is real. The emotional damage. No, I really hope people realize this is the emotional damage inflicted by David Demick as part of the Polyhedra production is really just a joke. It is really just for your enjoyment. If you don't enjoy, please let me. Anyway, as we're getting...
We don't all close our Discords at the end of the day and cry for the next half hour?
Shush.
That's not on everyone's
Don't.
thing?
Oh, no.
I feel like at least half the time after a game, Tyler and I and sometimes Alex end up like decompressing
For like an
everybody
hour.
else logs off.
I would be right there with if it wasn't so late. Like I need you guys to
Speaking
know
of, thank you for that segue. Let's get into it a little bit soon. Oh, God. So a couple things that I just wanted to call out. You guys have all probably seen the announcement on the server today. We're changing a little bit of the payment structure, that kind of stuff. If you have questions, shoot me a direct message. I'm more than happy to talk about details. One big thing that is on the horizon that I wanted to mention is discounts. It's something that I'm working actively on. If you have any ideas, suggestions, whatever, send me a message. Say like, hey, we should have a 50% discount because lols, and I'd be like, ha 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 ha, but I have daughters to feed. So that'll be probably the conversation, just a little bit of a heads up. Jokes aside though, obviously I'm what I'm so pleased, so happy about is how it all went down, that we got the community involved. The community gave us amazing feedback, everything from constructive to, hey, you guys should lower the prices, which is, haha, can't afford to do that because we want to live. But all of the suggestions were in there. So thank you so much for those people that filled that in. Time. I'm about to write a survey right now. I heard someone type on the mechanical keyboard. It's fantastic. Secondly, you also saw the stuff happening with Odyssey. They're also doing that. We're not $1 billion, company, so it's maybe a little bit on a different scale. It's interesting. For those of you that don't know what's going on, Wizards of the Coast is going to increase book prices by 20%. That is in line with inflation, so there's that argument. And another one that is interesting, actually, from 3PP, so third-party publishers, has always been that their prices have been too low, which kind of edges out lower cost publishers, because if you're costing as much as a D&D book, an official D&D book, you probably opt for the official D&D book. But the secret is, for most people, for most GMs that know what they're doing, the last years of books have been awful anyway, so it's beside the point. When we're totally running third-party product right here, right now.
It's been more than a year.
Yeah. Oh, 5th edition, you silly.
I don't know how to read.
I don't like. If you don't know how to read, that is, it's. I'm not laughing at that. Just for the record, God damn you, Tyler. So anyway, that's a whole conversation going on right in a nerdiverse.
I do believe, if I remember the announcement correctly, that D&D Beyond digital pricing is going to stay the same though.
Correct. And by the way, like I pre-order everything. Anyone who's in my campaign has access to everything. That's just something that I'm going to stay by. Everything official for 5th edition, whatever. I don't want to call it 1 D&D or whatever else. In my mind, it's 5.5. And I know Rocco disagrees, saying that we've had 5.5 since Tasha's came out. Wrong. That's just, they fixed 5th edition. Shit, that is 5.5. Fuck. Anyway, besides the point.
We can call that one 5.25.
Yeah, thank you.
I did also see that with this new book that nobody's interested in, that they did a physical and digital bundle. The only thing that I've wanted them to do this entire time.
They did that with Dragonlance. That's how I got the Dragonlance set.
Yeah. And I'm glad that they're doing that. That is something, we've literally been asking for that for years. But the price increase hasn't happened since 2014, so, after 9 years, it's understandable. I guess, at the same time, they're also just trying to match their massive record income from February of COVID, 2019, I think it was, or 2020. No, 2020 clearly has to be. Duh, David. But, aside from that, already everybody knew COVID was coming, and Watsy's behind it all. Moo-ha-ha. I'm really bad at conspiracy theories, I guess. So anyway, that is a side thing that you guys can look at. Multitude of opinions on that. I'm just excited. I think this is going to be the year and the next 5 years of third-party publishers, and 5th edition is here to stay. Frankly, personally, I don't care what WotC is going to be publishing over the next 5 years. I'm excited for the third-party publishers. Which brings us to a third-party publisher adjacent news item that we just want to send our love out for. If you are a Critical Role fan, which I think a lot of us are, I'm literally wearing a Critical Role shirt right now. That is the don't forget to love each other shirt. You may have heard the news about Ashley Johnson, Brian Foster. There is an alleged domestic abuse situation going on. Domestic violence is a serious subject. And we here at Polyhedra, everyone here on Light of Thylea on the stream, obviously, we want to reiterate, if you're experiencing that, seek out the multitude of resources that are there. It can be very difficult. As someone who used to practice law, I can tell you firsthand that stuff can get messy. But your safety is... do not underestimate it. The statistics are there. You can Google that stuff. Make sure that you protect yourself if you're in a situation. Doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman, however you identify. Protecting yourself, especially in a home that potentially has access to firearms, is paramount. Make sure that you take that seriously. You're not changing them. Protect yourself. That said, there's also an argument to be made about the public record that was discovered, and I don't know if leaked is the right word for it, but that brought this all to the forefront. We want to give Ashley Johnson, I don't know, I say that as if I can talk for all the nerds out there. I know that Critical Role in a way got to a level of celebritydom, right? When you become a public figure of sorts, your private life suddenly is on display 24/7, and that can be harsh. I'm trying to put myself in her shoes, that if somebody suddenly dredged something up that is very personal to me, how I would feel about it. And the answer, I think we all know, is not great. The reason that we love Critical Role, above all else, is that we love these nerds. We love these people for getting us through some dark moments in our lives, whatever that looked like. And we love what they have done for us, make us laugh, make us cry in all the best ways. And let's show her some grace, because the shit ain't easy. And I think we can all agree on that at the end of the day, whether we agree with the information getting out and whether it's okay to talk about it or not. It's out now, we're talking about it, and we can leave it at that and hope that everything resolves the best way it can. All right, that's a fun one to end on, but that's pretty much it. No, I wanted to say something fun. For those of you that like Hit Point Press and Loot Tavern, I think, actually more specifically, Heliana's Guide to Crafting and Monster Hunting was super fun. They backed it up with a second publication called Larsen's Ledger. That thing is chock full already. Like it closed on the Kickstarter and they just released the beta, the 0.9 PDF, and it is awesome. The art in there looks solid. It is so good. And yes, there are a lot of guns for you freaking gunslingers out there. Anyways, lots of really cool shit in that one. Highly recommend that if you didn't get to back it, at least look at getting it in the future. It has some really, really cool stuff. And I think they're going to polish some of the crafting stuff, because as a GM who tried to do some crafting in the past, there is some stuff about it that maybe it needs some improvement. Just a little bit. So I'm excited that they're rounding some of the corners on that product. Anyway, I talked about a lot of stuff that has nothing to do with Light of Thylea, and I'm losing these players. Look at all of them. One of them is looking at their phone. The other one's just straight up looking at their crotch. I don't know. Sorry, that is a teacher joke. I used to teach public speaking. That's usually what the joke that I would make. It's like, hey, excuse me.
Joke never gets old.
Mr. Alex, could you stop looking at your crotch, please? Sorry, just picking on you. But let's get back into it, because holy shit was last week a doozy. Welcome back, everyone, for another week of Light of Thylea. Previously, you all had found yourself in the liminal space between 3 years ago and where we're going to officially pick the campaign back up. 3 years have passed, and in those 3 years, you've done a lot. From becoming, accomplished wizards at the academy, to marrying King Acastus of Mitros, to leading the resistance against Sidon, who now has his full god powers back. You learned that the 5 gods were in fact not gods at all, but rather dragons that somehow outsmarted both Sidon and Lutheria, the Titans, the children of the gods of Thylea. Or, well, technically Thylea is the god. into becoming gods. At the end of the Oath of Peace, their godhood ended, and the divine energy returned back to Sidon. But there was a blank, a question mark that remained. Almitria, the mother and wife to Vulcan, mother to the children, who became Mitros, the goddess that ascended into the sky itself, overlooking her godly children and husband upon Thylea, disappeared. People prayed to her, sure, but they didn't really receive anything back. And so she became an adjacent goddess, someone who clearly didn't walk the earth with these, settler and fae folk. And so she became a little bit forgotten. Now, as you coordinated with Kyra, the last of the 5 gods was defeated publicly by Brissa in the name of Sidon. And with it, the worship of the 5 gods has all but ceased all across Thylea. Oh, but Lyra and Yanni, the two had been working on finding the Promethean fire, which allegedly can give you the power to ascend to divine status. Well, they had to go fuck around a little bit, of course they did. And they found out. You traded away the Horn of Bamitria, a powerful artifact, to Pascal. A very enigmatic, interesting individual who had been working with the Fates on the Island of the Fates for some time now, where you had first met him to begin with. And so you traveled through the tunnels of the Island of the Fates and ultimately got through a planar portal and into what Pascal described to be the Astral Sea. You traveled across it and onto what seemed to be a massive, statuesque, well, literally petrified version of a giant dragon. You floated up towards it and you saw that in the chest cavity something like a crevasse was carved in. As you guys approached the place, you saw in the chest cavity, which was completely empty, a curled up dragon shining with golden light, Almitria, with a mortal wound across her own chest, splinters and clear marks of the emerald scythe that Lutheria had used to kill many a people, but maybe most of all, Daphne's father, aunt. And the gods know who else. You approached and talked to the dragon, trying to ask her for help, and she explained that she has no power to directly interfere with Thylean affairs, but as she is dying, trying to hang on to every moment of life that she has left, she could trade her life for some kind of a boon for you all. Or she could keep hanging on, hoping that you can bring an end to this affair and hopefully save her life before she dies. Yanni, you are swimming with the possibilities. From the min to the max, as Lyra, you look up and you can see golden strands of fate, visible only to you, starting to descend from this cathedral-like ceiling in the chest cavity of a dying god. Yanni, Lyra, what do you do?
Okay, I think I have an idea. First of all, do you prefer Mitria or Mitros at this point?
I've always liked my true name, Balmitria, better, but I suppose Mitros works now.
Well, if you like Balmitria, I'm good with that. I assume you're at least aware of the Promethean fire.
I heard of it. Listening in, yes.
Do you know if it can, according to the rumors and legends we've heard, it supposedly can help grant divinity? Do you know if it can remove divinity?
She kind of shakes her head weakly side to side as she goes,
I don't know. The Promethean fire had its existence a long time, before we landed upon the shores of Thylea. What I know is the same as you. The sirens allegedly used it to threaten Sidon and Lutheria. In the last days of the First War, we sought it, but were unable to find it. It is why we raised yonder, why we killed and tortured the Gigans, trying to get them to tell us where the fire lay. They refused. They died. In vain. For Estor's vanity.
And she kind of hangs her head low at that mention.
Yeah, Estor. Anyway, Lyra, I still can't believe that nobody talked Brissa out of naming her kid Estor. Is that not just the craziest thing? Anyway.
Yeah.
Do you know if we have to, like, in order for you to be able to heal for real, does Lutheria need to die, or do we just need to, like, find something strong enough to, what is this, a curse, or is it just like a perpetual wound? I don't understand.
I have spent 500 years debating the same question. I tried to pour as much of my divine power into the wound, and it helped. It began to close. I became more powerful, stronger. And then I tried to use my divinity to pierce through the veil and into Thylea. I quickly learned that that was impossible. The world is shielded, separated from the rest of existence. How we ended up there was a mystery to me. But then I learned of the fates.
And her head swivels until her massive golden eye, well, actually, silvery eyes kind of like pointed towards you, Lyra.
They were washed ashore much like us, but a long, long time ago. In that time, they learned how to control the ebb and the flow. Kentimani and Thylea's protections of the land. I'm guessing you have entered through this path. I saw you approach.
And her head looks upward towards the ceiling. And presumably where Pascal must be waiting.
With this
Yeah.
fiend of yours.
It's pronounced friend, but yeah.
It could be both. Hey, Yanni, can we side huddle real quick? Just real quick.
Oh,
just like 5 seconds. Just real quick.
Sidebar. Okay, what?
Okay. I really hate to be the bearer of bad news. Like, truly, this is the worst timing. Like, any other time, this would be better timing than right now. So they're here watching.
They
And
like the recent topic of discussion
right.
for the last few seconds. Okay.
Like, wow, it's really ironic that she brought them up. I'm pretty sure they want her, which is like, man, big ask, huge ask. But I also, it feels very, what's the opposite of optional?
Compulsory?
But like more extreme than that. Mandatory?
Mandated? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So like that, which is bad for me. But really, options are still on the table. It really, if I don't do it, it's probably not going to end well. But literally, the last thing I need is for everyone else to be like, where's Mitros? And for me to be like, sorry, the Fates wanted her, so we sacrificed her while you guys weren't here.
Yeah,
So-
no, I'm not gonna let that happen. I can like shove you off the edge or something if you need a plausible deniability or something. But
If you tell me you're gonna do it, it no longer is plausible deniability.
okay, fair enough. um. Hmm.
Like, I don't want to say that they'll probably just fuck my whole day up. And by day, I mean life.
Okay, I got you. I got a plan.
Do I need to be a part of it, or is it plausible deniability?
You do not need to be a part of it. Okay.
I'm more stressed than I was before I told you.
It would have been a whole lot easier if you hadn't. But anyway, okay, all right. Back to the big dragon god thing.
You know, I could hear you that entire time. This cave is not very big, and I am a god still.
Are you, though?
Anyway,
Sorry, that was rude.
Her head
I'm so
swivels
sorry.
towards you,
I'm
and there's
so
a
sorry.
puff.
I'm so sorry. I'm so
You
sorry.
could
That
just
was
feel the
so
cold
rude.
air starting
I'm
to
so
gather.
sorry.
There's like a little bit of frost on the walls.
So if you
apologize
so
much.
frost your
That was
over-
Marissa,
so
we can
rude.
see that
I'm
text.
so
Marissa,
sorry.
we can see that text.
I'm so
If you,
sorry. I'm so sorry.
if you like frost her over, I can deal with her later, and that solves a lot of this trouble. Anyway,
Starts to suck in air.
But can you, though? I'm so sorry.
You can still see that.
maybe you should just leave. Anyway, I have an idea. We're if this Promethean fire exists, we're gonna find it. That's our goal. We have some level of protection from. Wait,
I'm waiting.
the bubble. Do you know about the bubble that your
Yes,
family created?
I do.
Could that protect you from Lutheria's magic if we brought you into the bubble?
I believe the way it was created, protected against Sidon. It depends on how Rotus worded his wish.
Oh, God,
Well,
that
okay,
was
so
long
Ro did the
ago.
one on the boat.
Oh, on the boat.
Which you're welcome to hang out on the boat if you can make yourself smaller. But it was your husband and kids who did the one over the city that bears your deific name.
This one only protects against Sidon.
Okay. I do not remember the wording Ro used because that was like 3 years and change ago.
I feel like it was along the lines of, like, protect us the same as this one does in Mitros. So, if I had to guess.
So probably not going to work. Okay.
But if I remember
Alright.
correctly, my grandson ended up being immune from Lutheria's invasions in the night on the boat.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that was actually the impetus for it. Was because of Lutheria's incursions into his brain.
Right. The dream stuff.
So, man, you'd think I'd remember these details better. I'm usually good at that.
Loving all of these ideas. Really, I am. I just point up towards the ceiling.
It's not going to protect you from the fates, but that's okay. They're not as all powerful as they think they are.
Ooh.
Yet. Okay, 2 options. We find a way to try and get you safely to the ship. We can have the ship do its whole, like, transport through the void thing to get as close as we can to... Oh, wait, no. Never mind me. We can have the ship here in 3 days. Or
I don't think your
Alright,
ship will be able to
teleported here.
leave the Thylean protection.
I don't mean here. I mean just on the other side of at the Island of the Fates thing.
Where exactly? So you came through the Island of the Fae?
Yeah, is there another way out?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
That means that we would be at their mercy.
Yeah, that's bad.
You do not
Can you
want
make
to
yourself
make
teeny tiny? Like fit in a pocket teeny tiny?
myself. Don't know. I could attempt.
Because if we can wait until tomorrow, I have a spell that I can prepare that would make you, it would put you in like a suspended animation, so it would keep you safe from the magic in theory while it's in effect. You would be invisible, undetectable by magic, and you could just hang out in my pocket until we get to the ship. Or we can do that with you here as is.
Can you make
you-
me
if you-
teeny tiny? Because I feel like I'm gonna need it.
If you don't want to risk being back on Thylea for any length of time. But anyway, we can use one of these to find time to find you, to find a solution to your problem permanently. The only catch is, either way, if we use my spell, I'm gonna need some gem dust.
See.
Don't have that.
She kind of chuckles, and as she kind of like weakly holds up a finger, suddenly you can see that there's a shimmer, and you can see that suddenly she's entirely caked in what seems to be gem dust. It's almost like she's just turning into like a Liberace kind of just outfit in herself, just sparkling with what is just thousands of points of light.
There are certain benefits to being a god.
I was kind of hoping that was how you would respond.
One's
what
a
is-
hoarder.
I mean, they call it a dragon's hoard, for God's sake. Anyway, oh, sorry, for Balmitria's sake. Anyway, so, Lady Dragon, what is your preference? How do you want to try and are you? I mean, I'm assuming since you just conjured all that gem dust, you're considering this one way or another.
It is possible. I am touched. I will be honest, Yanni. I thought that you might want to claim the power of even limited divinity yourself. And I am impressed by the goodness that I see in your heart.
Gives Lyra a little bit of a side glance and back towards you, Yanni.
To be fair, it's a little bit more
And
fear
I'm
of
here
Sidon
too.
than goodness in my heart, and I still think you're our best bet. But yeah, just
I want to, at the very least, assess the problems that you might face as a consequence. The second anyone knows that you are in position of anything that traces back to me, you will become a target. So I will need to ensure your safety.
I mean, already a target in a lot of ways, but sure. Yeah, I'll take all the help I can get there.
You don't understand. For now, you are considered to be in an inconvenient run by Sidon. But for the first time since his birth, he is the sole god of Thylea, and he revels in it. He has a plan that will outlast you, and even Australia. He will change the face of Thylea forever, with him as the sole god of the land. So he is willing to outlive you all, the threats that you pose, to make that happen. But us mortals, we understand that things sometimes have to happen in our lifetime.
Turns towards you, Lyra.
The Fates have meddled with the affairs of Thylea ever since they first set their foot upon the land. They quickly understood the power of it, the connection to the Fae energies, feasted upon it, and they themselves became an almost pseudo-deific entity. To underestimate them,
Looks at you, Yanni.
would be a mistake. You cannot, I must repeat, cannot underestimate them. So you must plan. You, not just the two of you, but all of the group that calls itself the Light of Thylea, will have to be protected, and swear to each other once more that you will protect one another eternally. That is the only way that you can trust, that you can change things upon this land. Lyra, I appreciate you trying to goad me into attacking you so that you cannot do what the Fates ask you to do. I see the goodness in your heart too.
What?
What do you think sacrificing me to the Fates would accomplish? This is not an ironic, sardonic, or sarcastic question. What would be the benefits, Lyra? What could you gain in the fight against Sidon?
Well, I mean, at the moment, like right now, present tense, right this very moment, I feel like it's less about what I could gain and more about what I could lose. But in the future, they have been around for a very long time. So I feel like, you know, they have information that we could use and things they could help us with, and giving them something like, I don't know, a god's divinity in her dying breath might be a good bribe.
You watch this ancient dragon in its deific form nod sagely as she considers those words and looks towards you, Yanni. It's almost like you can read each other's thoughts, the eyes. You can see her calculating the pros and cons just the same way that you are, and you can tell that she is certainly reserved around the idea, but there's something still calculating in her mind. She seems to very clearly, seriously debate sacrificing herself to the Fates to protect Lyra. What, if anything, do you say?
You're not actually considering that, are you? I mean, you're literally our best bet at opposing Sidon.
I am one weapon against the god.
Uh-huh.
You know what Esther's greatest flaw was?
Being a monumental dick?
Having a child named after him?
No, that's Briss's greatest flaw.
Warmer and very cold. It was his hubris, his ego. He thought himself to be the greatest general of all time, that he alone could take on gods. He used us dragons like disposable ballistae, triremes, sending us into our doom to be slaughtered by Sidon and to be captured by Lutheria. He did not understand the virtue of partnership, forging alliances. He single-handedly alienated every single group that we could have forged any type of friendship with. After the Geigans were brought to the brink of extinction, do you think that anyone wanted to help us? Even against a tyrannical god, too. He struck the fatal blow. He split us from within, and we stood alone. If I've learned anything over the year, over these long centuries of watching Thylea impotently, it is that those who stand alone will be vanquished by Thylea and her children. But those who band together, those who aspire to higher ideals, they scare Sidon. Beyond anything, what I can tell you about the Sirens and their lost city is that they supposedly asked for champions from all the races, all the peoples from across Thylea. They could have kept the Promethean fire for themselves, but they did not. They wanted to create a pantheon of champions from all of the peoples. And that scared Sidon beyond anything.
Sounds like a really good idea that we should take into consideration.
Your quest, your mission, your goal will be not simply to fight Sidon, vanquish him, or at least make him bow to a future, but it will be to unite Thylea, a task that has never been accomplished. Right now, that is what Sidon is working toward. But it will be under his rule. It will be through oppression. You can show the people's freedom through unity. To accomplish this, you will need allies.
The eye rests upon you, Yanni, nods, and then looks back towards you, Lyra.
Even those would want to see their opponents dead in the process.
She kind of sits back upon her haunches and seems to kind of like actually stretch out her wings. They shine magnificently within this cave, the golden light refracting upon, the thousands of little points of gem dust that is just caking her, and it's just a magnificent sight despite that mortal, hard-targeted wound upon her chest where Utheria struck her.
I believe both of your plans may be feasible, but I would put myself in your hands, Yanni. Something that would fly under the observing eye of Sidon without drawing your ire, and in fact turn you invisible to it, yet at the same time appease your patrons, Lyra. My divinity is fading. Each day, fewer and fewer people pray my name, and as such, my divine power is not replenished anymore. When it runs down, I will die. It was my plan to try to hang on to life, hang on to hope, until my granddaughter was able to find a way. But that is selfish. Hubris. Yanni, would you be willing to be a keeper of my soul?
If that's the best way forward, absolutely.
Lyra,
Uh,
Would you do the same?
yeah.
You must make Brissa and Estrella see the light. I know that in both of their hearts, they know not to truly love what they do. Brissa is a trapped animal.
I think Brissa's fine. I think Brissa's okay. Estrella, though.
She is not as opposed to what you want to accomplish as you may believe. I've heard your snarked remarks to one another. The derision for her station.
What?
I actually have defended
What'd she
her
say?
a little bit, but yeah.
She's talking about me?
I think she's still very dedicated to the idea of people having a choice.
And
What
she
did she say
will
about
also
me?
be in a position of power within Sidon's ranks. Something that she's uniquely posited to use to your favor.
She talking smack? Sorry, go on. Your soul, I remember.
You're really good at talking when you need to be, but you're also really good at talking when you don't need to be. So
I'm just so nervous, Yanni.
yeah, I'm a little nervous too because I think she's saying she's gonna sacrifice her divinity and maybe her life along that with it.
I will
She's
put
gonna leave her soul
myself
with us.
in your care, as I am dying regardless. This body of mine will die. I do not want to live in perpetual death. So my plan is as follows, based on what you two have presented. 1. I will separate my soul from my divinity. This will cause me to die. I want you to capture my soul, Yanni. But we will create a number of gems.
Oh, okay.
I want to be able to protect all of you. To shield you from the eye of Sidon. You will be able to carry me.
And she kind of looks down, and you can see her eye seems to follow towards that little ring that you used to carry pretty regularly some 3 years ago. The ring of friendship. The ring of Dragonlord.
First, I will use my divine power to bless your ring, Yanni.
Oh,
You
okay.
will be able to spread this blessing upon the others that are bound by the oath. Then we will turn the rings into a vessel for my soul. You two will capture halves and spread them across the rings. I will be able to guide you, I hope, from there. And then I will shed my divinity.
And she looks up. And Lyra, you notice that though Yanni cannot see the strings, Demetria absolutely can.
And then I will let your patrons consume what is left of my power as an offering of alliance against a mutual enemy.
I love this plan, really. Honestly, the best plan that we could have thought of. I don't even think we could have gotten there, to be honest. Just one more favor. Just easy, tiny, teeny, tiny favor. Just one little favor. Before you die, could you also just write me a note that just says, "Dear Daphne, I did this on my own. It wasn't Lyra's fault. She didn't make me do this. Love, Mitros."
I will exist as a soul within the ring that you carry, Lyra. You, by touching your ring upon Daphne's, will transfer part of my soul into hers, and I will absolve you of guilt. Speaking
God,
to her
thank
directly.
God. Ugh. Whew. weight lifted.
I agree with you, Yanni. It is not the best plan. I wish I had a different way of engaging, but Lyra, it's not the time to write a note right now.
Sorry. Put away my mechanical keyboard.
It's like a bunch of stone buttons as you kind of type out a scroll.
What is on your mind?
I wish we'd brought Kira so she could see you one more time.
Tears start to streak down the cheeks. This god dragon. A weird.
She's
I mean,
very alone.
I know how alone she has been.
Is there some way that we could give a fraction of your soul to her as well?
Yes. Give me your ring, Yanni.
Okay.
the massive paw kind of takes it, and the ring seems to just kind of float upwards and bounce there, despite gravity. She considers it. She lifts her other hand palm, and as it starts to glow and shimmer, a second ring with identical make appears there. She sends them out back towards you, Young.
So this one's for Kira then?
Yes.
That way. Actually, I'm just going to put it on. Less likely to lose it that way. So, how do we do this? Or, I guess I should say, how are you going to do this? Do you want a little more time? I don't know. I talk when I get nervous. I'm sorry.
It's alright, it's not as bad as Lyra.
Wow, okay, well.
Sorry. It felt good to say that one last time.
Look,
With my own lips.
Honestly, you've earned it.
Thank you, both, for being willing to do this. I trust you with my soul.
Thank you for all you've sacrificed to get us to this point, and for everything you're going to sacrifice to see this through.
If it makes you feel any better, Daphne's probably still gonna punch me.
Makes me feel a little better.
She nods once.
Alright then. Lift your hands with the rings.
Ooh, awkward that I take off a chain around my neck that has the ring on it.
Yanni.
Her hand, or like her massive claw, just kind of goes forward as you like, whoop, 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 and she touches it onto your forehead. As you supernaturally learn the Soul Cage spell, and I'll add that later, and the ability to cast that, you can feel it seems to brim with power in your mind. No other spell currently is even in there, as that is the world that you see. Suddenly you can see almost past Lyra's body, and you can see the soul contained in there, and you can feel your own hands kind of become translucent as you can see into the soul, and you look at this shining golden soul that is contained within this silver dragon. As she closes her eyes, the tears still dripping down, she speaks draconic words of love, of abjuration, of protection, of care.
I cry a little because I don't remember if Yanni can speak Draconic.
Yeah.
As she opens her eyes, and the tears are now completely flowing, suddenly her eyes roll back, and there's just a golden flash of light as the strings, first one by one, then dozens at the time, seem to just pierce into her divine body. As they pierce through her and into her, they seem to start to quickly enrapture her, like a massive cocoon. They just kind of seem to rip her apart, while at the same time also encapsulating her. As the body started to lift upwards, the golden light brimming with power, but starting to fade away, starting to dim in the glow, and then suddenly there's a flash, an escape of the soul as it dashes forward. Yanni, you grasp it, and as you draw it down into the ring, it gets incredibly cold. It is something that you've never quite experienced the same way. Whatever supernatural effect you've had, whether it is in the academy, out in the fields, this is a cold that is so deep that it just pierces into your ring finger. It feels like frostbite is about to take it as it finally abates, stops. And you can see now that upon the ring itself, a sapphire sits. You can see draconic runes carved on the outside, beside some of the words that were already there. And you can see the same, well, you don't understand, but Lyra, as you kind of look upon it, reading the draconic, you can see the same words of protection, of love, an oath to keep you shielded, has been carved into the ring. All three that you currently carry.
Okay, I was gonna ask if it was just Yanni's ring or if it was gonna be all the rings. Cool.
The draconic
Don't
body
feel bad.
is still being pulled up and starts to fall off. You see, as the fate strings pull away and the cocoon is kind of released, rock seems to tumble down. Massive pieces of granite. And indeed, there's suddenly rocking inside this massive body itself. It seems like the body starts to crack apart as you suddenly hear a voice from above. I think it is time to go, yes?
Yep,
Echoing.
agreed. Let's go.
Yeah, time to go. Let's go.
So how do you guys get out of this cave?
Do I have fly prepared? Oh, I don't know because it's, yeah, we still need to get those extra spells back on my character sheet.
We'll say yes.
I'm
As you
gonna
kind of
say-
like tap Lyra on the side. Lyra's obviously too anxious and depressed to fly herself right now. Just kidding.
I'll
It's the
double force
astral
all
sea.
spells
You
for
just think going out. This was a test question.
okay.
You guys all failed. You float
I
upwards.
forgot we were
As you
there.
kind of get out of there, and you look down upon it as you start floating away from this place as the body of Belmitria starts to crack apart. Well, the body of Mitros, a dead goddess now. And we switch away for a second from Yanni and Lyra holding hands as you guys float out of the body, looking into Pascal's eyes, and a massive smile brims upon his face. Daphne,
Yeah, it does.
you are in the palatial gardens as you hear the crying of a 1-year-old. As Brissa is kind of like trying to like shoo her, walking away, getting her to the bedtime routine. You're currently sitting by yourself in one of the nice gardens, marbled bench cooling your back against the warm summer breeze. And as you look upwards, you look at the stars, millions of them shining against you, but none of them are as bright as the star of Mitros. The golden star that guides people has guided you on many an occasion back to Mitros itself, the city, of course. And as you're looking up towards the stars, the events of the fight with Brissa kind of running in your head, and, well, the insanity of it all, the wedding against that backdrop of Rhodus and Corinna here coming up soon. What's going through your head as you look up at the starry sky?
I think Daphne just feels profoundly lonely. There is a bit of jealousy over having somebody that you love enough to have kids with never being socially able to get through any sort of date, no matter how many her mom sets up for her.
Or her DM.
or jam. Thank you
That's
for calling
right.
them out.
That's right.
Wow!
Daphne has a dungeon master.
Wow!
And just knowing that within Mitros is the man she thought was her father for 10 years. And knowing who her real family is. There's just, she's saying just a small prayer to Grandma. Just that she's made the right decisions, that she hasn't fucked things up enough, that she's proud.
And as you make your prayer, you maybe wipe a little bit of a tear up with a half smile up towards the star. Suddenly, just watch. It's like the camera's actually focused upon Daphne's face. As her eyes go wide, the mouth goes slack, and then we swivel upward. And where there was this incredibly bright light, there's now just darkness. As Daphne, you watch the golden star of Mitros disappear. Pascal kind of seems to take your hand, Lyra, and kind of is leading the three of you back towards the path.
All of those sailors just crashing into the Sorry, that's all I could think about.
You know, they're going to be extremely proud of you. You did well in there. For a second, I thought you were going to go against your own fate. It could have been bad. You were smart to recognize that.
You're very cute, but I don't want to talk about this right now. Thank you.
I can respect that.
He looks down upon the rings that you guys are wearing. And Yanni, you can see a covetous eye. You've had it many a time. But his gaze doesn't linger long. And he looks to the path ahead. As you can feel the cold of the ring still kind of pressing up against whatever it might be that you're wearing, whether it is gloves or the skin itself, it makes no difference. It almost feels soothing now. Almost like you can tap into it.
Kind of think at it. Are you there?
And you just feel the ring get a little bit warmer. And you can feel the affirmation in it.
To quote Lyra. I just kind of look over at Lyra, and if she glances my way, I'm just gonna give her a resigned yet still a little bit of a happy nod. Like, okay, not exactly the outcome I wanted, but I think we're good.
Yeah, she just get, you know, when you're like passing someone in the grocery store and you're just, it's like one of those.
The white people nod to each other. But it's like
Yeah,
a
no, I
smile,
know.
but it's
Put
like
it
a
down.
downturn. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Estrella, you are sitting in your... It's not really a word for office in ancient Greece. But you have a beautiful white marble desk upon you, which you have a beautiful array of quill, different kinds of inks, different colors, of course, you need to coordinate so that you can have like a little bit of like a color coding on what exactly has to be done when. There are books and parchment scrolls that are neatly arrayed upon you with these golden curled holders for the scrolls and the books themselves. And of course they have the motifs of Sidon, the lightning just prominently displayed upon all of them. Your fingers kind of almost absentmindedly touch upon that as your mind is currently reeling. And it has been reeling for the last 10 minutes or so, ever since you read the latest report of the Stormlord. A full accounting of the dead bodies. the village upon Mount Vulcan, just north of Mitros. This has been the most despicable use of the Stormlords that you had to consider after the fact, ever since it had happened. You know that oftentimes there was a show of force. The dragons would be brought out. Sometimes when the dragons couldn't be associated, you knew that Sidon would bring out his pet rocks, gigantic birds capable of lifting entire ships out of the sea and dropping them down. That these riders would go in and scare communes, villages that were too ardent, too blasphemous, into submission. Those that, as he put it, pose the danger to not just the worship, but more so Thylea. When you first heard these reports a year or so back, you know, it was nobody lost their life. It was always just showboating, making sure that people knew that if you don't do this, there might be consequences. How do you think Estrella felt a year ago about this stuff?
Well, originally when that started happening, I think Estrella was shocked that it could happen because she didn't think that was a possibility because of the oath that they made. That sort of like attack upon people. So, yeah, I mean, I think she was devastated, like completely devastated, and feels like it's all her fault. Everything that's happened, you know, she fought for this and was like, no, this, you know, there is good in him. I can see it. I promise. I know there's good in him. And this is all her fault. Everyone's pain and suffering and everything everyone's going through, risking their lives. It's all her fault. So she felt terrible.
As you see the number upon the parchment, as you see the imprint of a bloodied glove on the side of the parchment, you're not sure whether was it from one of the dragons, one of the Stormlords, or was it perhaps from one of the sirens that were murdered in this assault. You read the report that Queen Brissa broke off from the rest of the squadron at that point. Didn't say a word to anyone else. And has not reported in the next day. Something of concern, one of the people in the squadron called it. As you look over the report, you also were handed a small satchel, which you undid, and you looked inside and you could see an array, a grouping of tablets. Cuneiform, simplistic, but definitely depicting surprisingly well-preserved constellations. Now you are probably one of the most foremost users of star charting, navigation in all of Thylea. You are the holder of the Antikythera, the device necessary to properly steer the Ultros. Before you sits the Antikythera, this beautiful golden device with its intricate mechanisms and gears, the beautiful ruby that sits inside of it, and as you arrayed and attuned to these tablets around you, a star map floats about you. As it was thousands of years ago, when the city of Sirens disappeared. And as you move your hand back and forth, it's almost like a time lapse that you can control back and forth. And you can see this beautiful city that had been created in the honor of Sidon and Lutheria, with its spiraling towers upwards, the beautiful promenades, the thousands of sirens that lived within it. You shift it backwards. You can see flashes of golden light from within the city itself. You shifted further, and what must have been maybe moments after, dozens of gigantic heads rising out of the water and vanquishing the city, sinking it into the ocean itself. And you shifted further, and you can see the empty ocean spot now, within the context of the stars, where the city of the Sirens once stood. Your back shivered, and there's still goosebumps upon your arms as you realize that this is the location of the Promethean fire. That it is now within your mind. That it is now a space that you can direct the Antikythera towards. To grasp the power of it. And that if you were to try right this second, Sidon would smite you where you stood. That this is why the Sirens had to die. This is why he made Brissa do it, or otherwise her child was going to suffer the consequences of a war that he does not deserve. So you've been sitting there, reeling with the consequences, absorbing, thinking of the implications. Estrella, now a year later, after this infraction, what is going through your mind?
As Estrella reads the report, there's like an open air breezeway in her office, and there's also sort of a like a balcony where she can look out over Mitros. I think she takes the letter in hand and looks down at her little dog that she got for companionship because she feels so terrible, like everyone hates her all the time. But not that dog. He's a little crazy, so he's playing, and she smiles at him. Takes that paper and sort of walks out on the balcony. I think she just looks down. It's a long way down there. And I think if she really looks into her heart, the thing she wants to do the absolute most is just fall. That would be the easiest thing. You know, she's caused all this pain and she doesn't know how to fix it. Or even if they can fix it. And she kind of like looks down and steps to the very, very edge.
The dog comes up behind you. It's kind of like dropping what is like a bunch of curled up parchments that you kind of bound together as like a ball. Nudges the ball towards you.
She sort of had one foot dangling over the side and then pulls it back and like bends down and gives him a scritch.
Wags the
Throws a ball for him.
runs.
And I'll cast Sending to Brissa as I kind of like back up against one of the columns safely away from the edge. Brissa, are you there? I need to speak with you.
I'm in the palace? I guess. I don't know when this took place, but yeah, I assume this would just be in the palace somewhere. Come over whenever?
Thank you. Oh wait, no, I don't cast that again. Nope.
Thank you, shit.
It's understood. It's understood.
Imagine if like
Okay.
every text you send is like 20% of your battery.
Yeah.
So do you end up going to the palace that evening, or
how soon is it to the wedding?
we're like
Because I-
days territory? So this is fluid. You
Okay.
guys tell me.
Yeah, I'll sit at my desk and I'm gonna write down just on a parchment. Hold on, do I have anything that would help me in this regard? Oh gosh. So what Estrella is trying to do is think of a way she can tell Brissa that she figured this out without anyone knowing. And so I think she's not going to go to the palace right now because she's going to take the time to be careful about this and really figure out how she can do this without Sidon finding out. So she doesn't get her friend killed and her and their children. Yeah, so she sits back down at her desk and she's like sort of thinking about everything she can do, and she's really just going to like meditate on all of her abilities and how she can make this happen.
Later that
AKA
night,
me.
I
She,
cast
me.
this.
Me, I am her.
She, myself, and I. Later that evening, Brissa, Acastus comes up to you. He's like, "So is Estrella still coming? Are we going to keep the fires on, or should we? I had them make spreads."
You know, I don't really know. I mean, I can go see her and see what's up. You know, like you know, at the same time, you know, I'll go see what you know, if what she needs. You know, it's a little concerning that she asked to come over and hasn't.
I know. I mean, she is a formidable force of Thylea's nature now. I'm sure she can defend herself, but yeah, maybe that is.
As Cassis walks.
Yes,
I got her. You worry about. Yeah, you need a break. I know.
Oh yeah, I appreciate it. You know, sometimes it's a lot. Dragons, babies, you know, it's a you know, lot to handle.
Yeah, and you just got over your mastitis last week, so we don't want to push the issue.
That is fair. That is fair. All right, I'll go see Estrella.
Do you think Estrella's at the temple at this point or no?
Yes, I think she is. And 2 questions. The first one, because I imagine they've probably had a conversation before. Would an anti-magic field be a good way to make sure that nothing was listening in? First question. First question, part 2. What about a temple of the gods where I go to a different plane of existence in a beautiful temple of my making completely?
As far as Temple of the Gods go, you know that would be a temple created by the power of Sidon, and he would be aggressively aware of what's going on. As far as anti-magic,
Well, that's bad.
maybe against some powers in that respect. However, you're also pretty sure that the magnitude of Sidon's power, especially on Thylea, are of such nature that they might be able to pierce through such enchantments. But the thing that you're definitely worried about is the ears of many little birds around the temple that will likely be listening in on whatever conversation the queen and the high priestess may have. Magic or no?
Just write it on a clipboard and just keep passing it back and forth to each other.
What is this, Love Actually? It's just like you stand outside of Brissa's door, just like keep holding up parchments.
Cost a
I
fortune.
found the fire. Don't tell Sidon.
Okay.
Brissa, you're being led into the office by one of the platinum blonde-haired women, the attendants of Estrella's. As they walk in. High Priestess, the queen is here for you. She says that she was expecting you at the palace and you did not come.
Right.
Apologies.
Send her in.
The High Priestess is very busy and it is late at night. I will, of course. And Sidon's eye.
Praise Sidon.
Praise be.
Okay, see?
Walks out.
Message. I have message.
You use...
Do I have message? I do not.
What do you use to cast that message with?
I don't have message anyway.
Oh.
Wait. Am I telekinetic? Come on, Marissa. What'd you do? Tough? Dang.
Dang.
Marissa. Hi. I'm so glad you're all right.
hello. I'm sorry. I figured that you were gonna be coming. I didn't know if there was a communication error, right? And you were like, I don't know if I got the message lost.
Oh, sorry
Wait.
about that. I'm sure you're very busy. Right. I received this, and I'll hand her the. Stop it! Not now. I'll hand her
You
the
hand her the dog.
Yes, please take this. Please take the creature
Alex
with you when
immediately
you go
runs
back to
away
the
with
palace.
it.
Please.
Goodbye.
This
Mine.
letter, it worried me. I thought perhaps you were hurt.
No, it's just I just got it was a lot on my mind, and then it's Castus was complaining that he had to watch the kids as well, right? And so I had to get back home and everything, and so I figured they would be fine, right? I mean, yeah, I know I should have probably checked in with Sidon and everyone, but I figured that I could probably get away with it and they would be fine. But that is fair. That is fair. I will immediately after here go and give my report and make sure everything is hunky dory. But yes, I just needed a minute, and you know, was that why you called me over to like make sure that I was fine?
Called you over?
I mean, you sent the message, or I guess you were going to come over. Like, yeah, again, there's messages, good. Not very clear.
I'm not sure I don't know what you're talking about. No, I just wanted to make sure you are all right. And she's gonna like open her eyes really big, like. And that's all. I wanted to make sure the mission got done. I saw the blood. That's exciting.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't really stand a chance, but it was,
Of course not.
yeah, it was like putting down cattle, really, just like it was easy.
Well,
But
sure.
But yes, we can talk about it at a different time. I will, but I will go and make sure that they get the briefing and everything is all good. So I will head to the tower now. I assume
We wouldn't want Chelsea to have to wait for her report.
that is fair.
Yes. Also this, and I'll take that missive and I'll just take one of my quills and I'm just gonna draw a constellation on the paper and hand it back to you. There you go.
I mean, Chris is not a, star looker. She's just gonna. It's a very pretty pattern. Thank you. I guess.
You'd think they would have a better system than this by now, but no.
I guess above board, we should have a system, because also this place is safe from scrying, right? From Sidon. It's just
this
spot.
place.
Mitros, yeah.
Mitros, yeah.
It's more, again, the listening.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, everybody take a level of rogue, and we'll use Thieves' Cant going forward.
Yeah, there you go. If you want to talk about me anything else, you can find me at the palace, right? But yes, I will go give my report to the tower. I assume I can. Your circle is active for getting there.
Of course.
Okay.
Always for you, Your Highness.
Thank you. Well, you have a lovely evening, and I will talk to you later. Please let me know. So we'll get up and go give her report to Chelsea.
Rissa, you have returned back to the palace at this point. As you walk through, you suddenly hear out loud a gasp from one of the palace gardens. You look over and you can see Daphne. How would you describe you looking right now after you saw a golden star in the sky disappear?
I think she's sunken down from the bench to her knees and is just the tears are just flowing as she can't believe what she's seen. She's just looking up at the sky, and I think she's pale, but a little bit green too. Like, this is sickening.
Briss will run over and be like, what's the issue? Are you okay? It's like take out his beard. Like, is there anything here? Like,
I think Daphne even really registers, like, Brissa talking. She's just looking up at the sky.
I guess Brissa will look up as well. Does she recognize?
Oh yeah,
this?
it's hard to miss. This is like a golden beacon suddenly gone. And you know the significance from a religious standpoint. Mitros is gone.
Well, that doesn't bode good things. It is. She'll recognize that Daphne is also like awestruck. It's just like pick up Daphne and bring her to somewhere where she can like be in private and alone and not in the middle of a courtyard.
I think, like, it takes Daphne a second to, like, the feeling of, like, actually being moved. And she's just gonna look at Brissa, and I think she just kind of snaps and shoves her away.
I'm just trying to help get you the place that's not so public.
Not so public. As if... What, I should not have this sort of reaction? As if none of us should react this way?
Briss will just give her that look of, like, I understand, but not here.
I think I've overstayed my...
Briss will just nod, be like, if you must go, I can have the guards grab your carriage and your horse and everything, and have it prepared.
Carriage. I'm just gonna grab my horse. I'll go. I'll see you.
I guess I will see you at the wedding then.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
And I think she doesn't even look at Brissa at this point. There's too many emotions. She's not. And we're actually gonna run to Kira. We're not heading out just yet.
And you find Kira drinking heavily. She seems to have already gone through 2 casks of wine and is currently just one-handing a third as she kind of poof, caution thrown to the wind. She's sitting outside of the Siren's Roost on the roof itself, kind of looking up at the sky as you find one of the legs dangling over the edge of the roof.
I sorry. I'm so sorry.
What are you sorry for? What did you do wrong? What did you do right? Sidon is in power, and he probably went into the sky, and he killed my mother to spite me. He knows that I'm hiding like a little mouse in my little cave, and I can't get out, or he will just stomp me. So what are you sorry about? You are just a little mouse like me. And we both are just hiding in our little caves. We can't do anything. We can't oppose him. He can do whatever he wants. I think I spilled on myself.
Yeah. May I recommend not using a whole barrel?
It worked for Peter, did it not? He drowned his sorrows for 500 years. And now he doesn't have to watch our mother disappear.
I'm not saying. As she's like grabbing herself a drink. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying it's messy.
Messy. It is so much more than that. This is the end. Did you see? He's killed my mother. What other explanation is there? He has found a way to the stars themselves. And he's going to come for me next. And then you. And any family you will ever try to have. He will kill us all, one by one. That little... And you can see suddenly her eyes turn draconic, and there seems to be almost like a puff of heated air escaping her. She goes, that little whore that is helping him. Estrellas, led us all wrong. And she kind of looks towards the direction of the temple. I'm going to kill her, and I will show Sidon what it means to lose family, and he will know. As her hand kind of breaks some of the clay tiles as you grab her. And she just like... and she just breaks down.
Nephew's right there with her. Right there with her. This isn't even just get drunk and cry.
And as these daughters and granddaughters of Mitros cry into each other's arms atop the roof of the brothel, the Siren's Roost, that's where we'll take our break. Pick it up here shortly.
Yay.
And on a happy note, you know.
Alrighty, we are back from our break. Welcome back, everyone. As we're leaning back in, we're getting close to Rhodus' wedding. Rhodus, a former member, in a way still a member of the Light of Thylea. Another spawn / son of Rhodus, who had... Sorry.
This is his own dad.
This is his own dad. See, this is what you need. Not even a circle, it's just a dot. Thank you.
This is why time travel is hard.
Oh no. But anyway, another one of Peter's children. Rhodus had oathed himself to marry a woman by the name of Corinna, who of course was the daughter of the richest man in Astoria, one of the many merchants that lived there. Over the 3 years, of course, there's something that happened. Specifically, that man died. So clerics and priests were sent out to see him and try different kinds of cures. Even druids from the Fey folk were asked. The man quickly withered away, died. This relieved Rhodus of the oath that he had made. However, in preparation to the wedding, he and Corinna had gone to couples counseling. They went on dates. They started to actually develop the bond that he had been so scared of.
Wait, I'm sorry, wait. They don't have a word for office, but they have couples counseling?
Yeah, of course. Priorities. In this world, listen, in fantasy world, mental health is more important than an office.
Where do they meet their therapist?
In the Ahura, just out in the open for everyone to hear. And a genuine, an actual bond of love developed between those two. Now, Daphne, you got to see that love grow over the years. And Rhodus, the emotionally stunted man, the prototypical man that you had met at first, had started to fall for this woman. And now would do anything. Corinna, in her own right, inherited the estate and became one of the richest women in Astoria. Many of them see them as a little bit of a threat to Honora, the current queen of Astoria. Also your half-sibling. And of course, even now, without, not without suitors, but without a husband, as she refuses anyone who would make an attempt thus far. Some had even floated the idea of her marrying Rhodus to solidify the station within the city, to stand as a bulwark, to carry on the divine spark of Pitor and the others as they are no longer there. Yes, absolutely, there was at one point the floating idea of you and Rhodus, and those people had a lot of broken bones to mend in the various hospitals. You know, obviously high-tech hospitals, they have like, you know, IV bags and stuff, Damon, just for your entertainment. But,
MRI.
But no
yeah,
office for
totally.
the doctors. It's a mess.
Listen, the healing without magic in this world, that just feels so ineffective. It takes days.
Imagine having to wear a sling. Ugh. Peasant stuff.
Imagine not just taking a nap and feeling totally fine.
Imagine.
And Argenti, as you just finished, just like, wait, I'm in the scene.
Okay.
As you just finished giving a lecture, have walked back towards your place of study within the academy. Aesop is already sitting in your chair, kind of admiring the many things. What is your, I don't know, there's not really a word for it, but like this place where you kind of like study things, and I don't know, like maybe sometimes open ledgers and kind of like look at lists and things like that, you know, write maybe on parchments. What do you think that unnamed place looks like?
It probably is a circular room with a circular rug in the center. The rug is probably red and gold, maybe some blues in there, but it's very ornate. Nice mahogany desk in the center, the very equally as nice mahogany chair, one single window, and just a fuck ton of plants all in the window, because he is a plant gay for sure himself. So but yeah, he's got lots of plants. It helps him, as he says, it helps him think and be able to breathe a lot better than if he didn't have plants. Yeah, but everything's pretty comfy. The furniture probably curves to the wall. He had it custom made with, silk pillows, things like that. Yeah, and it's actually pretty well put together. It's very organized, clean. His desk is probably the messiest thing in the room, and even that isn't very messy at all.
Aesop is currently with his back towards you. You can just see that distinctive haircut and a little bit of his right arm. The robes kind of hang over the chairs. He's looking out the window and kind of just like touching and just kind of like it's almost like just like gently like playing with the plants in the window as he hears your step coming in.
Well, hello, my friend. How does your
Hello.
teaching go?
Oh, goes good, friend. And I'll put a stack of papers on my desk. I see you admiring my pothos. I propagated that myself.
Oh, you did. Oh, you'll have to
I
let me
did.
propagate too.
Oh, I mean, I could always show you sometime, of course. This one is a golden pothos.
Oh, interesting.
Yes.
A lot of light. How much water? And he kind of
surely
waves
they
his
can
left
take care of
hand, and suddenly the
themselves.
door just closes to the room.
Well, I could have done that myself, but
I know, but you didn't. Listen, I have important
Yes.
news. I know that we're supposed to go to this wedding. Do you still think that's a good idea? It seems a
Oh.
waste of our time.
it could be. Although, this is a way for us to make face without, making face in other ways, and
I know,
like
you've
inspiring.
counseled
things
me
like
so
that.
many times that we simply must be out in public and show ourselves, but the cause, there's nothing more important now. My mind is simply consumed by it.
Yes.
Word has reached me that a town was wiped out by these so-called Stormlords. Of course, it's not officially them who do it, but I wouldn't put it past anyone else.
Oh. All right. Do you know where it was? And I'll walk towards a map on, the other side of the room, and I assume Aesop has told me about whenever we hear about certain towns that have been wiped out, and there's various pins placed where these locations have been. And I'll take out a pin.
You know, you
Where was this
really
one?
need to be more careful where you leave it. They are able to catch you with this. They will throw you in the dungeons.
I wouldn't be too concerned. I think they'd love to throw me in the dungeons anyway.
Well, gets up and pulls out a pin just north of Petros. Kind of holds it there and considers this little pin as his hand kind of rolls it back and forth, and then gently sets it upon your table. Sits down next to it.
These attacks are getting more frequent, Argenti. More coordinated.
Noticed.
I don't know if your friends are going to do anything. I mean, I'm not surprised by Sidon's favorite grandchild, but Queen? I'd have expected her to do more. I understand he has her child, but what is a child compared to hundreds of others?
A child is a child worth sacrificing everything for.
I know. Sorry, I just can't.
We're losing, Argenti, that little bit of this thing that we have built. We're losing it day by day, and I feel like we're
No.
not doing enough.
I know.
Dying for us,
Oh.
for our ideal, for our ideas. Why?
And that is what happens in revolutions. People die, but it's for peace in the future. It's unfortunate, but that's the way of things, and all good things come to those who wait. And I know we're on the right path. We simply we're so close to finding the fire. I just know it.
Are we? How many ships have we sent? I have amassed a vast sum to support us in this endeavor, but I feel like we're just sending people to their deaths now. We need it. We need the Ultros. Know this. You must convince them. You must go there yourself. It is the only way that Sidon cannot directly interfere. We need to stop sending others. We must do this part ourselves. You have to beg, steal, and borrow. You have to convince them, lie to them if it's needed. We just need to go and do it. We must take the Ultros. Must go ourselves.
Just thinks for a moment. You're right. I mean, you're always right.
No, I'm not. I am just bitter, old. Morose in my thinking, my heart has bled for centuries now. Genti, we need to do this. I'd rather die trying than live another day thinking that I'm powerless against them. And now that the star has disappeared, my trust is gone. There's no hope. All 5 disappeared. Sidon is unopposed. People are talking. We are losing support. Day by day. Karpatha has turned its back on us. Why did you have to... Sorry, this is not fair.
No, say it. Speak.
We needed King Sai. Why could you not bring him to the cause?
I've done enough.
I know you have. I'm sorry.
I wish I could, but I don't. I've used so many people.
But you just said that we have to use them so that we
I
can
know.
end this war.
I don't like using people. And I understand that people die, yes. Those things don't have to be entirely separate from one another.
Oh, so it doesn't matter when people die when they are not your children.
I understand that you're angry.
I'm not angry with you. Please know this. You are my oldest friend. I'm angry with the situation. I'm angry at feeling powerless.
As am I. Would they even go with us, or would it?
I believe that after our conversation, Yanni may follow us. It appears that Lyra would be of a like mind. I hope that we can convince Daphne to give us access to the Ultras in the very least. I would hope that she would feel a spark of vengeance in her heart for what has happened. But it seems that Brissa is nothing but a lapdog to Sidon and Alastrea. I do not... Argenti, this wedding that you have asked me to go to. Yes, I will be discussing things, but I need you to do something. I need you to get your hands dirty.
They've been dirty before.
You
What's one
need to
more
be the
time?
one that convinces Estrella to go on this trip. Lie to her and sorcerer her mind, I don't care. Make her take us to where we need to go.
We have to find it ourselves. Upon the Ultras, we'll do it. We'll call it a pleasure cruise, whatever.
I don't know if Estrella can be swayed.
I don't care. She has the Antikythera. With that, she will be able to lead us. She has to, and we are going to make her. She will give us the cover we need. Sidon can assume that Estrella's eye is upon us. Yet at the same time, he cannot see what we are doing upon the ship. That is the magic that Rotus has brought upon it. So we will force her. My sources tell me that she still does not have a partner, not even a lover that she has taken that we can find. No children, so we cannot use Sidon's methods against him. What do you think would sway someone who would worship a monster like that?
Unfortunately, I didn't even know Estrella long enough. But perhaps what she mostly cares about is losing her favor with Sidon. What if she decides not to go? No matter how many threats, no matter how much we try to force her, what if must she be put down then?
Suppose if everything else fails, we must take the Antikythera from her. Yes, we would have to ensure that she would not be able to speak to anyone else of our plans. For the cause.
For the cause. For freedom.
For freedom, my friend.
I'll pull him into a hug rather than a formal handshake or anything.
And he kind of is like almost surprised and stiff. And then you can feel just a little bit of that rigidity kind of give way and kind of fold it. Welcome to Astoria, one and all. The city built along a riverside within the valley itself. The Rock of Astor, which once upon a time functioned as a sacrificial rock, where Anora was to be sacrificed to appease Sidon, as Gaius had called forth. You all, one way or another, have found yourself in Astoria. Now, the city streets themselves are brimming with people. Far and wide they have traveled there. Some people from Mitros, of course, Astorians, of course, Carpathans even made their long way here. You see the Amazons, now led by Moxena herself, every once in a while represented as well, and by and large, you even have Geigans that walk the streets. You have a couple centaurs, though it seems that there are not very many, that they were, if anything, allowed to enter the city this day. Most surprising to all of you that first entered the city this day, whether through magical means or otherwise, is that there is a golden dome that shimmers and shines over the city, indicating to all of you that Rotus must have erected yet another golden shield with the help of his divine sword. Now some time had passed between that fateful event in the Astral Sea and your return to the Island of the Fates. Pascal bid his adieu as you asked him to be your +1 at an upcoming wedding. At first he looked surprised, but with a sly smile and a nod, he affirmed that he would come. Leaving you, Yanni, kind of like an awkward third wheel, just like, so just port yourself.
You're invited too, Yanni. You can come too.
Into finalizing the designs upon your own Stimfey. of course, the mechanical birds that are so well known and used by the Amazons. Something that they won't look too kindly upon, but such is the fate of those who understand how these mechanical wonders of magic work. Yanni, Lyra, as you returned to the island, you could feel something was different. A vibration within the bedrock itself. Glow. An echo. And tunnels. By sacrificing Mitro's divine power, the Fates have further ascended on the power level in this divine game over Thylea. Lyra, you yourself felt empowered, feeling a brimming resonance within that, the satisfaction. And before you guys set out, teleporting away, you just felt so strong and confident for a moment, as that quickly was replaced by the anxiety of what that might be. Yanni, where did you teleport you two back to after this?
Well, I'm sorry, after the island?
Yes. So assume that you have like a day or so before the wedding. If you.
In that case, I would probably go straight to Mitros and try to find Kira to give her the ring right away. Not to derail.
You
things,
go. No. You go to the Siren's Roost. And as you go in there, Ambrosia, of course, the beautiful
I forgot
siren.
she got a side hustle. I forgot she worked there now.
The beautiful siren that is, of course, the proprietor of the Siren's Roost, Ambrosia, kind of looks at you. Welcome back. If you're looking for your friend Daphne, she drank my entire supply of wine with one of your other friends. I want to be compensated with this, and we would have got a nice tip on top of this. We are going to accept nothing less than 30%, of course. They are in the back room over there, nursing their wounds.
Okay, well, I'm not their mom, so you can deal with them to get your money.
No,
Doesn't her
you
mom
are
have a
responsible for them
vineyard?
too. Go.
Doesn't she make
No.
wine?
No, not paying. Not my problem. Anyway,
I know there's a reason why I told you guys you weren't allowed here. You can take
I'm
her and
not-
get out.
just
And she's kind of just start, like hip swinging, walking away from you.
what a twat. All right.
What's the Greek word for that?
Not gonna ask Google Translate that one.
Oh, won't type it into Google, but it says it live on stream. Okay.
I don't
Priority.
want-
Yeah.
yeah.
There's a
I don't want
record
Google
if
to
you
think
type
I'm
it
that
in Google.
depraved.
Oh, right away. Here you go. You walk into the back room, pull back the curtain, and there you see just like sprawled across pillows and kind of like a sunken into the floor couch. Daphne and Kyra absolutely fucking wasted, kind of like trying to like lift some wine to their lips and like as they kind of squint at the candlelight that is kind of shining behind you.
Oh. For the first time in my life, I kind of wish I was a priest so I could make you guys feel better. But I might be able to make you feel better anyway. I'll talk quieter.
That is good. Thank you.
Here, Kira, put this on. Just trust me.
What?
Just trust me, please.
I know that's how trust works, but I don't. What is going on?
You're going to want to know what this ring will tell you.
What?
Magic! It's magic. Put
This
it on.
doesn't make any sense.
Ow! You don't know.
It has to do with, I'm
Stop
guessing...
it! No. Too loud.
It's about your mother.
She sobers up in the sense of like the expression just kind of falls.
Is it?
We know she's dead. It's all right.
Not entirely. Put the ring on.
She
Daphne,
snatches it out of your hand and just kind of.
Do you have your ring?
Yeah.
Through bags. It's like, where did I put this thing? I don't know.
Yeah. Check with all the bags.
Some gum on it. It's like, oh shit. No.
I'm not 100% sure how this works, but Wonder Twin powers activate.
It's not how making the
As there's
ring-
suddenly a bright blue light that kind of fills the room for a second, turning white and then leaving all of you guys blinded for a second. The same the same cold sensation suddenly just burns in your hand as you're holding the ring. It's just like, and for a second, Daphne, you are in your forge back at the Mithril Mines. You look upon the beautiful furnace itself, and then you feel something else there with you. You turn around, and somehow the hall is significantly larger than it really is, and a gorgeous silver dragon looks down upon you. And in your heart of hearts, you know immediately that this is Mitra, or Mitria.
You did well. I have watched you your entire life. You can say it. I deserve the hurt. To shoulder it with you.
Don't know what to say. Who's tapping? Who's tapping right now?
A tiny gnome is just like trying to get like an actual like slate gun.
I'm sorry, I'm just trying to get this moment solidified. This is really great material.
Sorry. I love you, Tyler.
There is nothing to say, my dear. You are amazing. You are everything that your father could have ever hoped to create. And I am so proud of you.
Waterworks at that, just hearing somebody say that.
The dragon's head kind of coils, or like the neck and head coils kind of around you, and the head kind of comes to rest up against yours, massive.
It will be okay. I can now guide you. You will be protected. But you will have to act fast before he finds you.
Before he died?
Yes.
And-
The moments before my death, I saw Estrella. She carries the answer. You have to trust her. You must open your heart. She will lead you to the fire. Do you understand, child?
I understand.
And with that, the light kind of disappears. You're like, ow! And there's just like piercing headache. Kira just holds like she has like the ring like cupped in her hand like it is a little baby chick she's trying to protect from literally anything. She has it there. She kind of looks at you, Yanni.
If
This is some type of trick to help me in my morning. I appreciate it, but I need you to tell me right now so I can destroy this
Not
ring.
even a little bit. Not even a little bit. It was her idea. We were there.
What do you mean you were there?
Don't
We were
say
there
me.
with her.
Don't put me in this conversation.
Lara, are you there, by the way? I mean, you would have had to travel.
No.
Okay. How do you travel that long distance? Do you have teleportation means?
I would have let Yanni take me, but I wouldn't have gone to the
To the
siren.
roost. Gotcha.
Yeah.
And who is we?
Me and Lyra.
Oh,
We were
shit.
trying to save her, to bring her back.
So she's
Had a
back.
plan
She
and
can,
everything.
she can come out of this?
Not at the moment.
What do you mean? Not in the...
She sacrificed her divinity
What?
to make this work.
What do you mean sacrifice? That it's in the ring now.
No.
Gonna
It's
go.
with the fates. Not my choice.
She just takes a pillow and begins to squeeze, and you can see that the rough hewn fabrics start to kind of get very, very full, like a balloon that is squeezed too tight, and suddenly poof, it explodes. It's like a massive loud pop as all of the feathers kind of poof.
Yeah, she's gonna want you to pay for that too.
What?
Okay. So it was obvious to her and Lyra apparently that the fates wanted Lyra to sacrifice her to them. And I was trying to find a way to like get her on the Ultros where she'd be protected from Lutheria's magic so that we could hopefully heal her. But she opted to sacrifice herself and split her soul up among our rings so that she could help protect us. And the sacrifice of her divinity was to protect Lyra from the wrath of the fates. But she said something right before she surrendered herself that she's basically like, you better freaking help us now, you stupid fates, kind of a thing. So
She's here. She's right here.
yes,
You
there's
are here,
a portion of
mother.
her soul in each of our rings.
Mother, I hear you, yes. Whew, I thought I'd lost you. Well, it's hard to keep hope when, you see your mother disappear from the sky. I know. We will. Thank you, Yanni. Thank you for what you did. It wasn't easy.
Yeah, I wish I could have brought her back in one piece, but I'm glad we were able to at least get this to work.
This is fantastic. This will work. With the power, I can... The enchantment. I can leave Mitros now. She
Yeah.
kind of looks excitedly towards you, Daphne. We can do this. We can do this. There is hope after all. Listen, I'm sorry for everything that I said last night, alright? It's just, I thought I had just lost my mother. There was a lot of emotion, and there was a lot of wine. Oh, there was so much wine. And Yanni, they both fucking reek, by the way. It's just, I mean, it smells like a brothel in this room.
I gotta say, given her father's proclivities, not so surprised on that side, but I thought a little more highly of you, Kara.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you something. In the party section of enjoying life, I was leagues ahead of my brother. Easily. Oh. But, he was just stupid about it. He did this all the time. I like to have fun. Daphne, I can't believe the things you did last night.
I don't remember what I did.
I still do. Yeah, you do not have the constitution of me.
related.
Not like that. Get
Okay.
out of here, Tyler. Go type on your mechanical keyboard.
They're related.
I'm
Not
so
between the two of us, Lyra. How did you appear out of nowhere? Oh, now I can strangle you.
Speaking of, no. So the Fates are in their own kind of scheme, and they wanted. Then they
You
wanted
even
me
have to ask that? Of course they are. That's what they do.
Yes.
Sorry, you're hungover. I forgot.
Mm-hmm. Do we have to worry about them too? Has that always been a thing that we've just needed to be worried about, and nobody's just bothered to tell me?
I think they're safe.
They wanted to sacrifice my grandma. I don't think that makes them safe.
Well, to be clear, they wanted her sacrificed to them
You
because
know
they
what I
wanted
mean.
her divine spark.
Right, and does that sound good?
You have teeny tiny bit of divine spark. I don't think it's gonna matter on top of what they've got now.
What? I'm just saying anybody who wants to kill a god for their own gain doesn't sound that amazing.
I mean, I kind of want to kill Thylea so that
Yeah,
you know.
like for her own power?
No, but so she
Child.
leave me alone.
No, I
Sorry.
feel like that's valid though. To like be left alone. Not I don't
Here's the thing. We can. I think the fates will be easier to deal with than Sidon. So
sure.
apparently, from what Belmitria told us, they are not native to this land either. So I think my suspicion, and this is founded in nothing other than that recently acquired knowledge, my suspicion is that they, even though they've had access to leave, they want to like crack open the shell for some reason so that Thylea can mingle with the rest of the planes again.
Oh,
I really wish I knew why Thylea had to sacrifice herself in the first place. That's like I feel like that's the keystone of all of this. What did she need to stop or prevent or hide from or...
I
I
don't
don't suppose
know.
you know anything about that, Kira.
No. No, I don't. We just had to deal with their fucking consequences our entire lives. Sorry. Ow. Oh, I can go to Rutta's wedding now. Ah, but now I can't drink there. I don't want to. Ooh.
I might still want to.
We can go find a cleric.
I mean, it's a little too late to take that away, but I really don't feel like spending 300 gold just to feel better. Listen, I'm poor now.
Could always ask Estrella.
Ha! I may have gone to the temple last night and broke one of the pillars off. Daphne had to hold me back. Almost killed her.
I kind of remember that.
Yeah,
Well,
and then we both pissed on the roof. That was fun though.
Yeah, I think that's where things went cut off for me.
Yeah,
Um,
that was fun though.
but-
We thought it was a Stormlord. Alright, well I guess I need to find something to wear. You're not going like this, Daphne, are you?
Oh no, I had a nice outfit back home. That wasn't supposed to stay this long here.
Yanni, you can get us there quick, right?
Yep.
Perfect. We go shopping. You and me. We're going to need some tea or something. And you're paying Daphne. She kind of hooks her arm in yours and starts to lead you out of the
I
servant's
was
roost.
about to say, didn't she just say she doesn't have any money?
Yeah.
Brissa. You wake up multiple times throughout the night as the little one is crying. And in the morning, you're just kind of like, try to just kind of get into it as you walk into the room where your attendants start to clothe you beautifully. You kind of wear a ceremonial breastplate with the vision of Mitros upon it. However, the clasps of your cloak are, of course, lightning bolts to kind of show the choice that people now have. As you are led out, Acastus kind of walks up next to you, puts an arm around you.
I hate to say it, I hate to admit it, but it's gonna be nice to be away for a little bit. Quick question. I didn't hear of any of this, but it appears like one of the Stormlords broke one of the pillars from the temple last night. Do you know anything about this?
No, but I can guess who it was. You know,
Obviously, we're going to need to reprimand them. We can't let that happen. Whose idea was it to have a kid? Why are we raising them ourselves? Raising her. I need to get ready, my love. I'll see you soon.
All right, I will see you soon. Go get coffees.
Stormlord Bucks! Anybody? I need a quick run. A Storm Puccino?
Oh my god.
Is it just
A Storm Presso! Quadruple shot!
I need the symbol to like be Estrella. Like
Oh my god, yes. And it's just 2 lightning bolts. But so you guys go about getting yourselves ready. And one by one you arrive in the beautiful city of Astoria. Estrella, we'll come back around to you. But the first people that arrive are, of course, Brissa and Acastus, as you guys flew there in quick time. The people cheer as you guys arrive with the dragons. But it seems to be a mixed reception. You can see that some people in the crowds, Astorians, have now famously been in opposition of Sidon, and the city has suffered for a while. As you see the golden shield erected around the city, you get the sense that Rhodas was probably driven to necessity to protect the city, to make sure that Sidon couldn't reach here. But your stomach churns, Briss, as you realize that it certainly would not protect the city against you, depending on how Rhodas worded that. And the wrath that the Stormlords could enact upon it. People cheer. And Acastus is swimming in it. He wears a golden breastplate, a red cape running behind. He has chosen to not display a single storm or lightning symbol or iconography upon his armor this day. Something that he had planned to do. But you, Brissa, know that when he made the slip, in that moment, he probably decided that Sidon does not deserve the PR coming from him this day. Brissa, what are you wearing? Who are you wearing, Brissa?
Her dress would have been just like a very elegant dress and very simple, but it would have been made out of dragon scales of gold and silver, and just like so half of it gold, half of it silver, so kind of like show the marriage between her and Acastus. So and just like kind of like interwoven with each other. So
As you
there wouldn't have been any lightning on hers either, just because it would have just been
under the
dragon
clasps
scales.
left him behind. Yanni, Daphne, and Kyra, you guys arrive sometime later in the day when Bursa and the Castle had already been led up towards the palatial, general area, and had the opportunity to mix and mingle with the nobles of Astoria, start to talk about trade deals and all the boring stuff. Yanni, it was a grueling 2 hours of grabbing coffee, snacks, and then going from merchant to merchant in the Ahora, going to every back room, trying on 15 different kinds of cloth. As Kyra and Daphne had a couple mimosas, whatever they call it in Greece. There's probably not a name for that. And treated themselves to a shopping spree. Now, Daphne, you have not had a lot of opportunity to spend the gold that you have kind of earned by leading the Mithril Mines, so this was kind of fun. You got to go on a spending spree, and if anything, Yanni, you were surprised quite how rich Daphne actually is.
Even though a good chunk of it sounds like it went to the Siren's Roost.
At one point, Kyra did turn towards you, Yanni, and said, "You can't be serious. You're going in this? You're just going to... Wait. You're taking your bird... I need to back up a couple times. You're going to go dressed in your academy robes with a bird on your shoulder. Are you serious?"
My magical academy robes.
Okay, but I mean, this is what you wear every day.
Okay, okay, but what if we get a little tiny hat for the bird?
That would make it more adorable, I think, objectively.
And I could wear the hat that Lyra gave me a few years back,
Ooh.
and we could get the bird one to match. There you go.
Yes,
Would
I
that
think...
make y'all happy?
It
Yes.
makes me very happy.
Yes, we just need to, accessorize with you. That's all I want. Men,
Okay.
they're so difficult to shop for. You never know. They're always going to say, like, oh, no, you need this.
Sure.
What about you, Daphne? As you guys have gone through iteration and iteration and iteration, the merchant bringing out very excitedly a lot of stuff to you. What did Daphne's final dress look like for the occasion? Or armor, outfit, whatever it was?
I think Daphne's not going to be wearing her armor, just out of respect for the wedding. She's got like this really nice toga that has I'm not gonna bother with the actual names for them. They have like holes. It's long sleeves with small little silver clasps along the way that create like this nice little holes. And she's wearing much to show her status. Her actual wealth is of the blue cloth, like a nice, deep, rich blue that, of course, of Vulcan color. Like a sash across her. And she's got. She made sure the toga though has split, so it shows off a good portion of her muscular legs.
Hashtag muscle mommy.
Look at least a little nice. Yes. And she's actually like doing her hair for once, not just like in the messy bun, but actually braided and everything. Feels a little off. She definitely does not carry it.
Suddenly there's a staircase that just appears in this merchant's place. You walk down, of course, there's like a She's All That plays in the background. It's like you just take off the glasses and suddenly you look like a completely different person. Yeah.
I am.
Sorry, I know that's just like one of the first days that you're wearing your glasses. Like that's the remember that I don't know why was that in the 90s? Like they were obsessed with the oh my god, she doesn't wear glasses. Now she's hot. Like
it wasn't even just the 90s. That definitely carried over.
It's
like,
one of the
into
things
the
that I
early
hate the most.
2000s too.
Glasses are sexy, people. So, studio execs. I'm specifically talking to you, Hollywood. Listen. But as you guys all dress up, Kyra, meanwhile, actually has also kind of like very beautiful robes. So you kind of, ask for the split. She goes like, oh, yes, I haven't done that in a while. Yes, do that. She kind of gets like a little bit of a flower crown herself. Has like a bunch of just like cloth flowers all kind of stitched along the toga itself, and it's definitely just a bunch of I forget what they're called, but like lilies and the like that are kind of like just like very large and ostentatious. She's going to be a little too loud for a wedding, but it seems like she is very exuberant this day. Lyra, Yanni sent you a message saying that, hey, it's time for the wedding. Do you want to come? Would you like to, come, shopping? You get the sense, even in just the cadence of the message, that Yanni hates even saying the word shopping. There's a deep-seated disgust with the subject that you can just innately pick up on. How do you think Lyra's responding to, hey, you want to go shopping with Kyra and Daphne? They seem to be in a good mood now.
I think she definitely does not go. I think Lyra pretty much keeps her just one until the wedding. Like, she doesn't want to see anyone until all of us are in the same space together.
Howard.
Where do you think you went while Yanni talked to the two at the brothel?
I actually was gonna see about talking to Brissa. But I wouldn't have gone to the palace. I would have linked with Lothario and just been like, hey,
it's been a long time. How have you been?
Yeah, I don't have time right now. Is Brissa busy? I need to talk to her.
I don't know.
Well, find out for me.
Right now?
Yes, I need to talk to her right now.
Okay, what if she's not busy? Run all the way back to you, and what? You're going to send another word that I have to then run all the way back to the palace for?
You don't have to run. You can talk to her right now.
How? I'm here with you right now in front of you. You summoned me back to you.
No, he's with Brissa.
Did you leave? Okay, backstep a little bit. What are you using to make that happen?
Voice of the Chainmaster. I can just talk to him wherever I want to.
It's the first time you're using it, and hanging out around Brissa 24/7? Brissa, are you down with that?
Yeah, we talked about it.
Okay.
It's fine.
Yeah.
As it's like,
he wouldn't just be an imp all the time. He
Brissa,
can turn
as you're
into different
taking
creatures
taking off the lightning bolts from your mantle there, suddenly the blackhead kind of jumps on top.
Hey.
Oh.
Interesting accessory choice. Lara wants to talk to you.
Did she say where?
Of course she didn't. Have you met her? She doesn't make any kind of sense, any kind of executive decision. She pretty much just does things. How do you say? Does things.
Okay, I'm gonna use Voice of the Chainmaster to take over.
Blah. The cat's mouth just starts hanging open as Lyra's voice starts to come out there.
There's like, Brissa. I don't know where you want to meet.
I don't know where
like
you want to meet. Maybe the market.
Let's meet at the garden. I love the garden.
Okay.
Okay.
I will head towards the garden.
I will head towards.
As Lothario and his cat form kind of throws up a massive hairball just all over the mantle that you just discarded as you kind of like, you're gonna pick up the other one instead.
I really enjoy living in the palace. I just wanted to say that. It's really nice. Thank you. That is.
No worries.
Is there. Listen, between you and me, is there a way that we could maybe. You can be my boss? I would really enjoy that, Bite me to you, please! No! No! Make this stop! Oh, that doesn't work
Is your
out.
life really that bad? Like, you literally sit around, eat, and just watch the baby all day. Like,
I do.
It sounds like you have a
She's
pretty...
annoying as. Oh no, she is gorgeous. She is so cute. She's safe. I'm doing a good job. Stop looking at me like that. No, stop. Listen, your second pinky twitches when you get angry. Stop it.
He's got a few hit points. You can punch him if you want.
You seem to be a strength score, I don't know.
Okay, I will go away now.
Meow. Scatters away.
Briz will head to the garden as well.
Larry, you make you all the way up towards the palatial gardens.
Could have just met in the market. That's why I said the market. So many goddamn stairs.
You can fly.
Probably not right now.
Do you tell the Centurions to get the hell out of here, Brissa? Because otherwise they were gonna be essentially be like bodyguards watching.
Yeah, I'll tell them to wait. Yeah, as I go.
Of course, my queen.
I don't need you guys to follow me.
You see the one that you kind of beat up, just kind of like, kind of breathe out, like he's kind of relieved to not be in your presence.
That's fine. That's fair. Poor guy.
All right, as you guys sit down, Brissa, I will say that you kind of innately sense that Lyra seems to be a little agitated.
Are you okay? Do you want some wine? I need some wine. It's going to be a long day.
Wine sounds great. Les, yes, right now, please. Yes, thank you.
Brissa will just go around outside and be like, go find a point in a garden. Be like, bring us wine, and then run back inside.
Okay.
It's coming. So, what's his is everything okay? You seem a little flustered. You usually just send me. Did you want to come with us to the wedding? You could ride. We can get you a dragon to ride on. Or you could ride with me and Xyla. Should be good to see you again. Should be very happy.
How? Do I take the royal carpool to the wedding? I'm bringing Pascal. It might not look great for you, optics-wise.
Well, yeah, it's fine. I mean, is he gonna go as a devil, or is he gonna make himself appear like a normal person? Because I don't think the devil thing would fly over anyways, right? So if he's just gonna be a normal person, it's just you bringing a date. So.
I really didn't think about it, and I don't even know if make himself not look like a devil.
Pretty sure he probably can. Because I don't think a devil just going into a story. I don't think that's gonna go over well.
I don't know. It seems a little discriminatory, but
they are devils, so I think it's fair to be a little bit discriminatory about it. But
to clarify, Pascal appears as a tiefling, which is not uncommon in Thylea.
Right.
Oh, well then, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, you guys can come with us. Yeah.
But people call tieflings devils all the time because racism.
If you want to, we could get you a dragon, or you could just ride on the backs of ours. It's up to you. Xyla can fit you both. Claws,
Poor Xyla having to fly for hours. Why did you have to get so many people?
Who does a Castus usually ride? Is it Icarus? Is Icarus a Castus dragon?
Icarus is also larger than Xyla.
Yeah.
Icarus is massive, so you could definitely ride Icarus.
It's been a while since I've fucked with that dragon, so.
I would hope not.
Not like that, Clancy. Not like that.
That does not sound.
I don't know anything about this group. I
All
swear.
right, Brissa, let's not act like you wouldn't. Let's not get into that conversation. Anyways. Hey. Do you still wear your ring? That's important. Not your wedding ring, the other one.
She totally does. Yeah, you can see it's on the opposite hand.
I'll just grab Brissa's hand and put our rings together.
I brought you the wine! Massive explosion of light. Oh no! Suddenly there's help! Bring someone! The queen is under attack! The Centurions start rushing into the scene as they're drawing their Makairas, starting to surround you guys. All the spears are kind of there, starting to kind of point towards as the flash disappears. Brissa, fine. Lara, you kind of suddenly have multiple weapons up against your throat. You're like,
it's okay. It's okay. It's just a flash of light, guys.
Just a flash of light, my queen. You could be under attack. What did you do to the queen? As they kind of like,
Wow, guys. Could you go look after the temple that literally got a fucking column knocked down in the middle of the night? Maybe. Thanks.
It's okay. Go back. You go outside of the garden. It is fine. I'm okay.
I didn't do anything. We're best friends. I would kill you before I killed the queen.
it's kind of like was like lowering their spear, and then you say that it kind of goes back up for a second, but they nod towards the queen. You get the sense that if she hadn't said like "fuck off," they'd be like taking it a little bit more personal. But they fuck off. Rissa, as the Centaurians leave the garden, you also receive a vision of the dragon. It is like you had seen before. You're floating upon, or really above the clouds upon Dragonback. As the dragon that you're riding is not gold but silver, it kind of rears back and looks over its shoulder towards you.
You have done despicable things in the name of peace, but it's a queen of my city.
I guess Brister probably realizes who she's speaking to, so she'll just look down shamefully and be like, I did what I had to do.
What a mother would do for her child. I do not. Do not know what I would have done in your position. I'm glad I did not have to choose. But swear to me that you are going to do better. That you are going to free Thylea and create a better world.
I swear it.
Oh, she didn't say make an oath.
And so the oath has been complete.
As you kind of come out of that, kind of looking down at this, and the Centurions are not gone. Lyra turns towards you, and all the questions are just bubbling in your mind, Britta.
So you were able to find...
I know. Yeah, Yanni and I found her.
Oh.
In the Astral Sea. She's technically not alive anymore, but also not dead.
I know what that's like. Definitely give me like a spear. It's kind of like a weird, not a spear, but a glaive. Kind of like, very similar, just one more murderous.
Daphne made you a spear that makes you not alive and not dead.
But it like has someone's soul in it, so it's like very. It's similar, right? Different because that one's a dragon, right? Yeah, but I get it.
Sure. Okay. Anyways, so she's technically in the ring. Her soul, because Yanni's still gonna try and find a way to fix her. She was basically on death's door when we found her because of Lutheria. Shocker, I know. But also the Fates technically took her divinity away from her as part of the deal.
I mean, they're on our. They've never wronged us, so I don't. I mean, I don't think they have. I don't remember them wronging us.
I mean, not in our faces, probably.
Did they give you anything for sacrificing to her? At least, I mean.
You would think I would have stayed to find out, but we dipped pretty much as soon as it happened.
Yeah, you should definitely like ask them then. That's a pretty big sacrifice. I think last time we sacrificed to them, it was you got something that was.
Yeah, I will say for like the first 5 or 10 seconds. So afterwards, before and like the fear kicked back in, I felt real good for like 5 seconds. Real good.
So maybe you feel real good actually right now, but it's just your anxiety that's kicking in, so it's stopping you from feeling real good.
Daphne is gonna punch me so hard.
I mean, I think you can take a punch. I think it'll be fine. Just like I'll heal you afterwards. Just let her get the anger out. I've done it to a few guards and it's okay, right? Like,
I just really
I
need
had
you to
magic
make
for
sure that she stops punching me. Like she can punch me, but please make sure she stops punching me.
I could do that. That's fine. That's fine. Just let her get the anger out. Take like 1 or 2 blows, right? And then hopefully she'll stop on her own. If not, then we can just like whack her on the back of the head, right? It'll be fine.
Ooh, maybe don't hit Daphne.
I mean that's fine. That's fair. I mean, maybe not too hard. Just hold her back so that she won't. She stormed off the last 2 times we talked to her anyway, so I'm a little upset with her. It was like we talked for like 30 seconds and then she's like, just go, and leaves, and so it's like she's been very rude. Like I get it, she had a lot going on, but it was very rude.
Wow, what has been going on here while I've been gone? Well, yeah. There's that. That's pretty much it. I just wanted to say hi.
I mean that is huge, but it is also sad. But it's a spark of hope. It seems that there might be a way, but also, I think that is good.
Oh, she did also say like I'm doing this as an offering so that we're. So like hopefully that means that the fates are gonna help.
You really should have asked before you left. Like I feel like that it was like a key moment, like right after would be like, hey, I just gave you guys a divine spark, right? But you can just do like a ascending, like the magic, or Yanni can. Someone can.
Yeah, someone else can.
Might be good for Yanni to talk to his mother every now and then.
But I mean, he was there too. To be fair.
Oh, you guys. So you both just dipped out.
Look, I was real stressed. Okay, a lot happened in a real short period of time. Also, we gave Pascal the Horn of Balmitria.
Ooh, I'm not going to be there when you tell Aesop that. I am going to be far away from that.
Well, here's what I'm thinking. We just don't tell him.
Yeah, you know what? We can say that it's in like a vault somewhere. It's in a safe space.
He just doesn't have to know.
Yeah, I agree with that. As long as we just don't tell him, then he won't know. And maybe at some point in the future, we can get it back.
I also thought about maybe just not telling Daphne about Mitros, but that was before the whole ring thing, and obviously she's gonna find out. And
yeah, that's fair. Anyway, I do think we should be honest with everyone in the light, but Aesop is
right. He's just a side character in this whole thing.
He doesn't really count. It's like we don't really want to irk him.
Yeah.
As Aesop is kind of adjusting the robe upon your shoulders, Argenti, do clean up very nice.
Thank you. I'll do my best.
Just nice that you are getting out of some of these stuffy robes. What are you wearing, Argenti?
Well, I'm glad you asked. So, in contrast to the usual pinks and blues and greens that Argenti usually wears, he is going to be wearing black to this wedding. A long black robe that covers his feet and drags behind him as he walks. And the the little cape that Aesop was just adjusting is draped over his shoulders and sewn with individual hammered iron pieces that have been plated with silver, kind of reminiscent of dragon scales, silver dragon scales to be very specific. I mean, if you couldn't already guess, because they're silver, and adorned on each of his fingers and each of his ears are rings of iron and silver. Some of them have gems of tourmaline, obsidian, smoky quartz, and others just are just diamond, very polished diamond. He has also taken the time to decorate the area around his eyes with charcoal, and they come to points near his temples, and most notably around his neck, as his own little personal act of defiance, is a pendant in the shape of a silver dragon with its wings outstretched and above its head. Each point of the wings is touching a golden star. And it's very, very bold, and it sits right in the front of everything. And he looks, other than that, he has like a loose bun. He looks really fucking tired. But yeah, hair is kind of tousled a little bit. But yeah, it's Argenti.
Certainly will make entrance to this wedding. Still sure about the going all black. You look
Positive.
dashing. I give you that. All right. Well, are you going to teleport us, or would I?
Oh, I think I've got it. Grab. And whoop.
Boom.
That's the sound that gets made. Whoop.
As all of you arrive in Astoria at some point, all of you gather. Rotis and Corinna and Nora welcome Daphne and are surprised to see Kyra. Although she's in disguise, Rotis seems to recognize it pretty quick. Of course, minutes after Nora's eyes already had gone white, Daphne had recognized this. You guys make small talk as you guys introduce one another, and at a certain point, Argenti and Aesop walk in as well. A lot of people kind of like, kind of doing like a little gasp as Argenti kind of walks in with a very, very loud outfit in this setting. A lot of people have already swarmed Briss and Acastus as you guys have been talking for a while. And then ultimately, you're allowed to walk in a little side room as for this moment, it is just you six, meaning seven. Argenti, Brissa, Castus, Kyra, Daphne, Yanni, and Lyra.
Do you want to know what Lyra's wearing? Because she didn't get the memo that we were supposed to look all regal and formal.
You could have asked Brissa to like go through her closet real quick, like have one of the outfitters like throw something together for you.
No, she has an outfit.
So in Siren Society, everybody shows up nude to weddings.
It's invisible cloth.
Oh, it's like that weird plastic stuff that people have, like the weird hard plastic.
No.
Shave.
Side note, if you're into plastic, we support you.
Right.
Yeah,
making
100%.
shaving.
Sorry. For me, there's just something about wearing something that is designed to be worn, thus cover you, and it's see-through. It just doesn't...
Yeah.
I'm also not a fan of the early 2000s like clear plastic designs of like PlayStations and Apples. So I hate fun and sunshine and puppies apparently. So you know.
Clearly.
Puppies.
I mean, we already knew
Wow.
this, but...
Well, God, everyone's like, I have this really nice suit and I have this really nice toga. Oh God. So Lyra, she has like a dark plum dress that is a trumpet dress. So it's like a mermaid dress, but instead of flaring out at the ankles, it flares out right like mid-calf. But she also has a slit all the way up the side. So think very like Jessica Rabbit. It hugs all the right places and then flares out at the bottom. And in the slit, there's threads, crisscross threads of just gold string in between. And she wants to show off the scales on her collarbone, so it's very low cut, like almost to her sternum. But it does have straps, unlike Jessica Rabbit's dress, which is strapless.
So you don't just sit there the entire time doing this for like 5
right,
hours.
Exactly. And she has a shawl that's also purple, but like a lighter kind of lavender, lilac-y purple that has the runes, like the ones that Estrella had from the Fates, embroidered all across it. And her hair is braided and then wrapped, coiled into a bun, and then in the center of the bun is the shuttle kind of woven into the braid. And she also has gold sandals that lace up all the way to the top of her leg because she has used Alter Self to get rid of her siren feet and give herself human feet. So she still has her wings and she still has like the feathers on her arms, but she has regular human feet. And that's it. She decided to be hot for the wedding instead of formal wedding.
So Brissa, before you guys take off, Lara has also gone through like a dramatic transformation. Just like, where did you store that? You think to yourself, but she looks absolutely stunning.
Lyra does still have the bag of holding, just to be fair.
Literally pulled it out of bag of holding.
Best use of it, honestly.
This entire campaign.
Pascal won't be able to take his eyes off of you.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Poof, beat red. As you guys arrive there, Pascal also sent a message that he would be there
Also
shortly.
hot.
And we will get around to him. However, Estrella, before the wedding, you were summoned back to Praxis, and thus you teleported to the tower, decide on Seat of Power, and before you entered the hall, you overheard the end of a conversation.
Yes, my lady. We're going to be able to acquire the fire in your name, in Sidon's grace. Yes, you're right.
You hear footsteps as a figure comes out of the room. As Gaius rounds the corner with a helmet under his arm, just nods towards you respectfully.
High Priestess, it is good to see you. I believe you have received my flowers, yes?
Gaius,
Yes. Good.
I have received them.
Have I finally found the right one?
Yes,
I
you
was
can
told
still
that you
send
were
me.
a fan of the lilies, yes. Most females appreciate the beauty of a good bouquet.
Actually, I hate that they die. So, flowers really aren't my thing, though it's
Oh.
a lovely gesture.
Of course, you want something more permanent. My mistake. I will make sure they send more jewelry next time. Have you reconsidered my offer to come visit me on the island? Maybe have a dinner with me. I have some of the best Geigen chefs there.
Of course, I have considered it. You know, really, that would be up to Sidon. You know,
Oh,
I'm
I
sure.
would not. Oh, I mean, I'm sure that Sidon
You
has
should ask
blessed.
him.
You. No, I want to respect your own. I mean, I'm sure you can see the benefits from a political station, a general of Sidon's army, a high priestess of his church. I mean, apologies if I'm too direct, but
No, it's just that I spend all my time at my desk working tirelessly for the
I
love of
know.
Sidon.
I mean, you
as
would
we
only
all
have to
do.
take breaks every once in a while, every 9 months for a while. So we can, of course, make sure that the line lives on. It seems that your mother has refused to bear any more children. I don't understand why she would do so, but
As you know, this is a lot that you are bringing on me right now.
oh, I'm sorry.
Are
Maybe I'm a little bit. Listen, I'm on direct mission from Thylea, and it's a lot of pressure, if I'm honest. And I just,
I understand.
the first time I saw you, I couldn't stop my heart from beating. It simply jumped out of my chest. I had to catch it and bring it back inside. I started to read the poetry of yore, and you made me want to explore more parts of this world.
So you're not mad about that whole
I understand that you were misled. You set aside, you saw the light. The fates no longer controlled you with their constricting strings. I have spoken with the priestess at our temple many a times about this, and she has assured me that Sidon would not give you this power if you had not seen the errors of your way. So you are a reformed woman, so I suppose everyone deserves a second chance, is what I'm saying.
You are very brave to trust me. Some still do not, so thank you.
Oh, they're fools! You brought peace to this land. You are the only reason that the rest of your former friends are even still alive. So, should be proud of yourself for this. Well done. You carry the smart strength of your grandfather in you. Would you perhaps prefer a river cruise, or maybe we can arrange something? What scene would you prefer? I can have my soldiers set up anything. Would you like to ride on Dragonback? I've become quite a good rider myself, if I say so.
You know what? I have something in mind. And it's on a specific day, and you know it aligns with something that happens in the constellations. I don't know if you know this about me, but I'm very into astrology.
Okay, I will learn
You know what
everything
sign
I
you are,
can.
Gaius?
Uh-huh.
Huh?
What?
I will message you
Oh.
and tell you when we should have this date. Now, you must have as many of your guard that to protect us as you can. But I
Okay.
will let you know when.
All right.
Great.
You make an old man blush like I'm a young maiden again. Thank you. Thank you for your attention. I look forward to our connection.
So do I.
And he kind of like stands at attention, bows very deep towards you, and walks off.
Should have jumped off of that barge when I had the chance.
Ah! Oh shit. Whew. You walk into the throne room, and there you can see Sidon sitting upon his chair, and Thylea just kind of giving you a little bit of a sly smile. She nods towards Sidon, walks past you, kind of like as she passes, says,
You know, should really go with his offer. It seems that no other man wants to see the sight of you, so Maybe go to the one that does actually pay attention to you.
Well, that is a lovely suggestion, Chelsea. Thank you.
Of course, just trying to look out for my niece. Ah, Astrea.
He has his glaive in his hand as he greets you, setting it upon the side of the throne. He actually stands up to his full height, towering, and approaches you. A sign of respect, if anything, that a god would stand up from the throne to approach you.
My beloved granddaughter. This does not come easy, for I know that you shared the bonds with these people before. But I need you to go to this wedding with a mission. This Rotus. Shred of godly power that he stole. Erected a shield around Astoria. A thorn in my side, but as per our oath, they have the freedom to do so. However, you, my little dear, shall go to Astoria. You shall be my eyes and my ears. I have kept something from you for a while, and this was for your own good. Something that the others have known for a while.
As he kind of watches Chelsea kind of walk out.
A long time ago.
He starts to kind of pace back towards his throne.
My people, my favored people, the Sirens, oh how they loved me, worshipped me as they were supposed to. But then an interloper rose amongst them, and they created blasphemy. An artifact that gathered together energies of life to make false gods. Concentrated power, to be sure, but nothing that truly reached the grandeur of our bloodline, Astrea. So Lutheria, in her envy, unleashed the beast Scylla, the true Scylla, upon the city, sinking it, to prevent them from trying to give the rest of the peoples of Thylea a false hope of what could come. Now, I figured this was enough punishment to try to save as many of the Sirens as I could back in the day. It appears that your friends are now seeking ways to recover this artifact from the sunken city of the Sirens. I want you to find out what you know, what they know, and come back to report to me. I want to make sure that they're not getting themselves into trouble or giving the people of Thylea false hope. A hope that would, I hope you understand, cause much pain and suffering. Unnecessary death.
Of course, I will do as you ask, as always, my lord. Could we speak alone?
He kind of looks around. It is really just the massive throne room and you two. Chelsea has left.
Okay. She'll kind of look behind her and make sure and see that Chelsea is gone. I have heard of this artifact you speak of. It pains me to mention it. I have heard Chelsea speak of it. I have heard her say it can create in someone great power, and I wonder why she would want such power for herself.
Because I told her to recover it. she has put together a group led by Gaius. They will find the artifact and do what I should have done a long time ago. Destroy it, once and for all. It is the best thing to do. Godhood should be reserved to our blood. If others pretend otherwise, well, we have seen what has happened with the Five, and the misery that their existence has caused. But finally, with the end of the Oath of Peace, even Mitros has finally died. I no longer see her star taunting me in the sky. Finally, peace. Can you feel it, Estrella?
I can feel it and I can see it in you. You radiate even more than you usually do.
See, this is why you speak to the people, Estrella. You know what people want to hear and you say it so well. Do this with your friends. Find out what they know. Let me know what it is. And should they be planning children's stupidity, I trust that you will be able to turn them aside. Yes.
They are planning anything and they know where it is. Perhaps I can just join them and get it for you.
Oh, don't worry your pretty little head with things that we already have the soldiers working on. Thylea was a part of them, but he needs to be used for something. That boy is trouble. Don't worry your head. Just make them stop. That will be the best way to... We need you and Mitros to preach the truth.
It will be done, as you request, of course.
He lowers himself towards his throne.
That is why you are my favorite granddaughter. We need to discuss how to elevate you to status of Titan. Perhaps I will ask Gaius and the others to bring me the silly little siren artifact first. I think it is time that Yoon shall truly see eye to eye, don't you think?
David, you're a terrible person. You're a very good DM. I would like that very much.
I figured you would. You deserve it for everything you have done for Thylea and for me. Now go. Be my thunder. Be my lightning.
Slams down the glaive as you find yourself in your like private quarters as your attendants kind of rush in. It's like, what was? And they immediately kind of like fall and bow towards you. High Priestess, you're back so soon. We thought that you would be gone for longer. Are you ready to get clothed for the wedding?
Of course. Bring forth the gown.
Whoosh! All right, what does the gown look like?
This is why Jason and I play twins and everything, and it makes perfect sense. Thank you for asking, David. I wrote something. But before I do that...
Yes.
Because Estrella wears a flowing cobalt gown with little structure other than a clasp secured over her shoulder. In contrast, the deep cobalt rustles an ocean of silken platinum tresses, plunging in a cascade over exposed collarbones to pool beyond the small of her back. The crown of Sidon does rest upon her brow, but it is completely obscured by the intricate braids and ringlets that are looped up into her half-up hairdo. The flowing train and hem of her gown wash over the ground below her as she walks. The underfabric's made of gradient shades of blue and white so that they mimic ocean waves crashing upon the shoreline with every step she takes. as she kind of walks, her eyes are have like an innocence and wisdom combined in them, but also a kind of distant sadness. But she's, if anyone was wondering if she wasn't on Team Sidon, even though this is completely obscured up here, she definitely plays the part that she is. And on either side of her is going to be one of her Storm Priestess handmaidens.
As the three of you teleport away to Astoria, you suddenly find yourself on the outskirts of the city, as the magic was not able to carry you past the shield. As you suddenly are in the throng with the everyday people, the peasants and the workers of Astoria, the centurions and others. They all kind of like, oh! Some of the Astorians kind of look angrily towards you. As the attendants kind of like reach behind, they're getting ready to pull out the maqueras to kind of keep you safe as well. One of the centurions kind of recognizes you and goes, "Hey, you're that Sidon bitch, huh?"
I'll take a hand and lower the weapons of my Storm Priestesses. We do not need that here. We are among friends and people can speak freely. I am Estrella.
Well, your friends have already arrived. I guess you're welcome to come.
Yeah, go get your donkey out of the way. Come on, move to this. As they kind of like start to kind of like move people, move people out, and you're being led through. But in the process, your dress gets a bit dirtied, slightly torn. You push through, and people are kind of yelling left and right. It's just the derision, really the contrast between Mitros and Astoria is palpable. Finally, you make your way up into the palace itself. And that's where we're going to leave this week's session. As many things will be discussed. Because next week we'll finally get to the motherfucking wedding.
Yay!
Everyone's all
Move that
regal
ass.
and nice, and Lyra's the slutty aunt.
Yes, I'm here for.
I'm here for
Somebody
it.
has to be.
100%. You didn't even say
Don't
Jessica
slut shame.
Rabbit. I was already there. My mind was already with Jessica Rabbit.
I mean, you guys
Sorry.
already killed off, like, all of Rhodus' aunts anyways, except for one, which you kind of still did, so somebody has to take the place of the slutty aunt.
Oh my god.
And it's me.
Yep.
I will gladly take that title.
Amazing. All right, for all of you watching for the first time, please give us a follow. We're going to start doing more giveaways again, so if you guys want to be part of that, a follow is simple enough. If you want to know more, wow. If you want to learn how to not talk like me, if you want to move that ass, right? If you want to know more about how to get into one of these kind of games, head on over to polyhedra.io. That's where we do professional games like this. And of course, we're going to be rating someone. So I'm going to do that really quick as you guys tell me more about your thoughts for the session.
You know who the only person that doesn't talk shit about everybody in this group is? Poor sweet little Estrella. That's the only one.
I was
Yeah,
gonna say.
I'm waiting the
Yanni.
whole session to say that, by the way. Actually. Yeah.
I was gonna say Yanni.
Oh, that's true.
Here is
Yeah,
That's
my
true.
also
Actually,
Yanni.
Yanni,
Also
that's
Yanni.
true.
That's true.
What
I-
would Estrella have
You
to
peed on my
complain
temple.
about?
You peed on my temple, Daphne.
No, that is
You
true.
peed on my temple.
She doesn't know
Yeah.
that though. She doesn't
Did
know that
you have
though.
to clean that up? No, because what is your station?
I just picture
Somebody
Estrella
did.
watching those two, like watching it like through like whatever security like door
She's
got
a-
around,
a
like
recording. She's watching the
What's
security
happening?
cam
Just like
footage.
Daphne would. Kyra?
Daphne.
My God. Just like, no, don't go kill them right now. We'll clean it up in the morning. It's fine.
No,
Oh,
it's like
yeah, we- the
Juggling like a
royal-
javelin of lightning, being like, should I throw it?
yeah.
Just spinning her trident.
All right, with that, thank you guys all so much for watching. We'll see you guys next Tuesday. Yep, let me double check. Yes, next Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern. Bye.
Bye.